Radio station.
Do you even smart speaker, bro?
Listen on your Amazon Echo device. Alexa, play Rock 102.1 KFMA.
You say it, I'll play it.
You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, weirdo.
Happy Valentine's Day, Beef.
I'm sure you already been told that about 7 times, but let me be the 8th to say Happy Valentine's Day
Actually,
to you.
only once so far.
All right. Well,
And that was Friday because I said it first.
okay, fair enough. Well, you can't say Happy Valentine's Day before Valentine's Day.
Well, you know I have 3 Valentine's Days on
Okay.
different days. So first one was Friday.
Really?
Yeah. And second one was last night, and nothing really went to plan.
Yeah, I mean, you came in very last minute and stuff, disheveled, and I was concerned, but everything okay?
Yes.
Was your Valentine's Day, pre-Valentine's Day celebration, did it run late? Did someone get injured? Or were you dehydrated? Did you load up on
I'm
potassium?
Definitely dehydrated. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we wanted, there's this rolled ice cream food truck that comes from California for the season.
Okay.
And my girlfriend are like, oh, that sounds like a perfect date. We get downtown, we're ready, and I'm looking, I'm like, honey, it's closed. And she's like, yeah, it's open Wednesday through Sunday. I'm like, honey, it's Tuesday. And she's like, oh, no. And I was like, well, what are we going to do now? She's like, let's go to a tea place. They closed at 8. You know, it just was not working out at all.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your night was too late. You should have started early, man.
I
You do
know.
morning radio on Wednesdays.
I
You got to keep that
know.
in mind.
I know.
You know, you should be like me, you're super single, so you can go to bed at 6 because nobody cares. You know, so
Aw.
that's no, it's okay. Don't feel bad for me. Even though when I just said that sentence, I almost got choked up. I'm like, oh my God, what am I? I actually enjoy going to bed whenever I want. Yeah, you know, in fact, actually, there's an anti-Valentine's Day movement that's kind of growing.
Yeah.
Amongst incels like myself, you know, so excited about that. The Washington Post actually just did a big story on this, how the anti-Valentine's Day movement is picking up steam, with 3% of Americans plan to buy merch like anti-Valentine's Day shirts. I don't know if I'll go that extreme.
Yeah, don't go that far.
But Etsy did see a 14% increase in searches for stuff like this year, and probably 14% increase in robotic sex dolls too. I'm sure that's continuing to grow. That's a robotic sex doll will never judge you for your snoring. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
a fun fact.
Yeah.
But as far as Valentine's Day, we got a positive, fun Valentine's Day show lined up for you. And if you have plans today that involve utilizing, delivery of any means, or even Uber or Lyft, you may want to plan ahead because there might be some sort of strike that's happening today. Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash drivers are supposedly set to strike today. The drivers group said the other day that they're seeking fair pay.
Yes.
Right. But which I don't know what that really consists of, depending on. I mean, Uber and Lyft, I understand Uber and Lyft. And I know that in the past, and I used to Uber and Lyft for a little bit, like 8 years ago, something like that. I did catch Uber deceiving me as far as what they were charging the passenger and what they were paying the driver. Right. And whenever you get into an Uber or Lyft, you'll hear these kind of stories from these drivers who feel like they're being unfairly compensated. DoorDash is a different beast all in itself because, I'm still trying to fathom what is their business model. I mean, obviously it's like a majority getting a lot of business. There's a name for that. It's early. But when I was in college, my friend and I started a restaurant delivery business. And the way that it worked for us is we made deals with these restaurants. We would get a percentage off of those orders that our customers would do. And at the end of the week, we would pay, and we would get like 30% off. Then we would do a small markup and a delivery fee. And that's how we made our money. But still, even with volume was the word I was thinking of earlier.
There you go.
It still didn't seem like that sustainable of business. Now, how are you going to pay a driver if you're only getting a small discount plus a markup, on volume per order, you can't pay a driver like $10 out of the bottom line if your profit margin is only $5. It doesn't make sense, right?
Mm-mm.
But, this is obviously an argument, that people have been, fighting since 2019, since the first strike call that Uber and Lyft went public in 2019. So groups that drivers are going to picket outside of airports and Uber offices, and the Justice for App Workers Coalition, which represents about 130,000 drivers.
Wow, that's significant.
Well, we're so reliant on the gig economy,
Right.
and that's kind of like a very sad fact on this. They said the drivers won't provide rides to and from airports between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in nearly a dozen cities. So be on the lookout for that area. Hopefully you're not trying to get a ride share during that amount of time. And I don't know if it affects Tucson per se. But they say, according to this, they analyzed the gig mobility data. Last year, Uber drivers' monthly average gross earnings fell 17%, while those of Lyft drivers increased 2.5%.
Is that just people preferring Lyft over Uber?
No, I think it's the payout. Yeah, Uber is the main culprit. They've done this for a while, and in fact, actually, there needs to be a lot of oversight when it comes to that company.
Yes, let's say there's not a whole lot of regulation for these.
Not yet. It's still somewhat new,
Mhm.
and they can manipulate the data, and it seems like honestly, I would not be surprised in a few years if they do a thorough investigation of Uber. They find these kind of practices that are not only immoral but illegal. It would not surprise me, would not shock me at all. But like I said, even myself, just being a lowly rideshare driver myself, seeing what they were charging the passenger and what they told me what they were charging the passenger, and then gave me my little cut.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you lying son of a bitches. Like, this is how you do business.
Too many inconsistencies.
Too many.
Well, and like you said, and like I just said, like there's no oversight. There's no way to track this. And it's going to take probably years for the government to catch up on that.
Wow. What are we going to do till then? So I know we have a lot of rideshare listeners or, Uber and Lyft drivers who listen to the show, which we appreciate. They're some of our favorite listeners. They're out there spreading the word of the show.
Yeah.
And you make good money today. And if you are a rideshare driver, then you're caller number 10 right now. I'll let you take your pick between a rodeo tickets or a $20 gift certificate to Tucson Games and Gadgets. All right, so that was our show open, and we didn't get any Uber or Lyft drivers calling in. So I have a feeling that they are on strike. So that's why. That's the only reason why. Please welcome in studio a very special guest. First time on the show. She is going to be part of the Lady Bits comedy show Jen Blanco puts on. We got Amie Gabuzi. Good morning.
Hi.
Initially when Jen was like, hey, Amie Gabuzi's coming on, I thought you were going to be my buddy's wife. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, step out of there. So
I am no one's wife. So
you're nobody's wife yet. Well, happy Valentine's Day. Are you celebrating Valentine's Day?
Yeah. My improv theater actually has we have double shows tonight, so I have shows.
Get that microphone closer to your face.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So I'm in shows tonight at 7:30 at Tucson Improv Movement, and so we have double Valentine's Day shows. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's how you're celebrating the Valentine's Day?
Yeah, by making fun of other people. It's gonna be great.
That's it. Well, we're gonna get to know Amie and also cover today's top headlines. And the Hot Ones host dating a porn star. That's just like as crude as I can deliver that headline. But the details on that are pretty spicy.
I'm
pun intended.
So excited.
Now, you watch Hot Ones, right?
I love Hot Ones.
Yeah. So he's built a career off of just doing a unique Q&A type presentation. And I feel I'm kind of upset that I didn't come up with this idea, to be honest with you. And his questions are really good, too. But nobody saw this coming, that he, would publicly date a porn star. Well, nothing wrong with that, too, even though I'm saying it.
Of course.
I feel like it's Rock 102.1 KFMA. I feel like the way I say porn star, though, is kind of demeaning, and I don't mean it to be that way.
Is there a better term that I'm not aware of? Is there a
no. If a woman is a star in the sex industry on film, she's a porn star. So
Okay.
And saying it right now out of context, totally fine. It's not degrading whatsoever. But when I repeat the headline that Hot Ones host Sean Evans keeps his personal life as spicy as his show as he dates a porn star, then see, I can't help but say porn star like that. Like I'm judgmental or jealous.
I want the crossover episode though. I want the porn Hot Ones episode where it's both things at once, all of it at once.
I'll tell you what, I mean, for a porn star, it's very dangerous to date someone like Sean Evans because he could have residual hot sauce on his fingers and that hurts.
Oh, that is the riskiest risk I've ever thought about.
Exactly. Or even just on around his lips and his mouth, wherever you go, it's going to burn. And, she could just assume that it's an STD or hope that it's an STD, but no, it's probably a residual effect from their hot death hot sauce.
It's da bomb right up in your face. It's going to be terrible.
Yes, that's Amie Gabuzi. She's a comedian that's going to be on the Lady Bitch show, and she's hanging out with us on the podcast broadcast. We're going to give you some Valentine's Day quick bits and tidbits right after Bad Bulls Legends Never Die on Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, so that was on the air, and we did good. We didn't make this make that bit too
gross.
Yeah, gross or vulgar. We kind of tiptoed around it. And you've been a KFMA listener, so Amie, you're excited to be here, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
I've been a KFMA listener since I was in my little baby tweens.
Well, let me ask you this then. What was a song that you loved hearing on KFMA growing up, listening to KFMA? And I can play that song for you.
I already took the selfie with the Linkin Park album outside.
Yeah.
So I grew up with Crawling was I think my first. I think that was where I understood how angry I was as a human being.
Listening to Crawling?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll play some Linkin Park for you here since you're our guest. And welcome back. Everything situated with you?
Good to go.
Good.
Yeah, taking care of the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Well, did you see I do want to show you the porn star that Sean Evans, the host of Hot Ones, is dating. And good for him, dude. You're talking about this is a guy that just started a YouTube deal and had a gimmick and it started blowing up. And now I guess you could say that he's made it. He actually took his porn star girlfriend or date, Melissa Stratton, to the Super Bowl. So he had Super Bowl attendance money.
Yeah.
And this is Stratton.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was her Super Bowl outfit.
Yeah, so her Super Bowl outfit, very classy, very, very nice, Vegas-y, looking like a great couple. And I'm proud of this guy. I really am. And you know what? The freaks do like spicy stuff. It doesn't surprise me that secretly he'd be like, yeah, I'm all about that.
I think I'm more proud that the fabric is holding up the way that it is. It looks like it's stretched thin and doing a great job.
It is super stretched. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is her work attire, in Las Vegas as well. So, Sean, and this is them at another spot. Still same weekend, so maybe it was just a weekend date. Let's just hope that it wasn't a paid date. You know what I mean? Because she is a pro, and I don't think it would be though if he's publicly taking her to the Super Bowl and whatnot. But you know,
if they're going, if it's public or serious than just a weekend deal.
I don't know. If someone was taking me to the Super Bowl, I mean, you can call me whatever you want. I'll go with you.
Well, if you're going to spend a lot of money to go to the Super Bowl and you want to take a date and you want to guarantee you're going to get laid because you spent a lot of money, then you're going to take a porn star.
Okay. Yeah, but also anyway, I just think that's fair game. If you take someone to the Super Bowl, I feel like it's on the table.
Right. So yes, okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna be super excited about going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so then would you say that now we just said, if you're gonna spend a lot of money and you want to guarantee to get laid, taking your date to the Super Bowl, you date a porn star. But Amie brings up a good point. If you're going to the Super Bowl as a date, no matter what you are, you're going to get laid, right? So if somebody took you to the Super Bowl and you're not a porn star, you're a comedian, you're going to bang that dude 10 out of 10 times.
10 out of 10. And also my parents are listening. Hi.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. They, I feel like they'd be mad if I didn't take them also. And I think that they'd be fine with it, actually.
Right. Well, especially if you took them along, I'm sure your mom would pull you aside probably during one of the timeouts and say, you're going to bang this guy, right? Because he took us to the Super Bowl and this is a really good time. Amie, don't disappoint us.
Yeah.
You got to step it up. Do some things you've been waiting for that special occasion. Bust those out tonight.
My dad would give me an atta girl afterwards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's a girl. She learned it from me. She inherited those skills. All right. Well, we're switching gears. Let's talk about Valentine's Day. Obviously, happy Valentine's Day to all my friends out there. Whether you're single or you're celebrating with a loved one, or you're even over the fact that you've been in a relationship for far too long and you're not giving your significant other any cards anymore. Here's a fun fact and stat for you. Couples tend to not give each other Valentine's Day cards after being together for 6 years.
Oh, so it just takes 6 years.
Yeah, dude. I've never made it that far. I was buying cards every year.
I write letters.
You write letters.
I do. Like nothing not like 4 pages of like, oh, my dear. No, like just something nice of like recap of the last few months. I'm proud of you. You know, I love you. Thanks for loving me kind of thing. But I have 3 partners, so I kind of have to do it 3 times.
Yeah, dude. You have to write like a novel.
So by the time I'm done, I have written a novel. But I do love it. And I'm a very sentimental person. So
you're going to give yourself arthritis.
I already do have arthritis in my hip, baby.
I don't give people I like Post-its. That's insane. Letters? Wow.
Dear,
I'm a wordsmith.
I mean, let me ask you this then. Do you just kind of like you spill your guts and your emotions on paper, but do you leave like the name at the top blank so then you can designate
just
it?
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
No, I do make it very personal to each of them because as I've explained before, my partners are very different.
Right.
And each relationship is very individual and I
that's the most work.
Yeah,
I've
she's in a
ever
polycube relationship, Amie. So yes, it is exhausting. So today, it being Valentine's Day is usually like a good thing for most couples. For her, it's like D-Day. She's like, oh my God. Like she's taking tomorrow off.
It's
just
finals week over here.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Things got to go back to place, so it takes a good 24 hours.
Yeah. Have a good Epsom salt soak afterward. I'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Soak your arms from writing.
All right. Have you, so you're single, Amie. Do you ever do the dating app thing?
Yeah, I feel like actually, so my friends and I, we did it for science. So
For science, you did.
Science.
Yeah. So because I think that there's something to be said about like what your pictures are like saying about you.
Right.
So for science, my friends and I, we got together our profiles. We got like a Hinge and a Bumble and a Tinder, and then we reversed the pictures. So we put the most conservative pictures on Tinder and the most provocative on Hinge, and we're just like, let the cards fall, and then Bumble's in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. So what were your results?
I haven't opened it in a while. It's just sitting there.
You just sitting there baiting right now? Yeah.
So she's just collecting data right now.
Yeah, dude.
It's not even the fun part of catfishing. It's just letting notifications acquire.
Oh, I would love before the end of this podcast that we could kind of generate some data, so we know. Sure, yes. Absolutely. So I was thinking about dipping my toes back into the dating app thing, but again, I'm still kind of trying to spend time with myself.
It's supposed to be New Year, new beef.
I guess,
okay.
Yeah.
Take yourself to the movies.
I was
tonight.
recently banned from Tinder, so that's not a good thing.
Oh,
so that made me not feel great about any dating apps whatsoever.
Wow, that's the reddest flag I've ever heard. I think I'm attracted to it. That's great.
I know. That's
what do you have to do to be banned from Tinder?
You have to have somebody lie about you and campaign against you. So, and I got posted on a group that apparently a couple people who I match. With Tinder, the problem is you match people, then you don't talk with them at all. So you kind of accumulate matches. Yeah. And so I think, and that's a very normal thing. I think a few of my matches, saw the S post about me and then, reported me and bam.
So were you on, so there's a Facebook group. Do you know about the Facebook group that like, are you dating this man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you on that?
Yeah, I was on that.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's a third. So you were on Facebook being posted of, are we all dating the same man?
Right. And you're not. And, and it wasn't. And this fabrication was an exaggeration and it's unfair. I stand by that. The girl told me about the page when we started dating, which was a red flag. And I felt like she was just such a fan of the page. She was waiting for an opportunity to participate in it.
Yeah, and clout chaser.
Yeah, absolutely. It backfired on her a little bit, but at the same time, I'm banned from Tinder for life. But at the same time,
for life.
Yeah, they have a zero tolerance policy. Yeah. But I will say this, Tinder was the biggest waste of time anyways. Yeah. It was a hot or not app, and I never met an emotional connection or even physical connection on that app in 10 years, So most of it was like kind of spam bots and catfish.
When I was in Chicago and I had my group of friends there, we would play a drinking game with Tinder. And it was, every time you see a dude with a fish you drink.
Right.
And then we would lose our minds and get blackout drunk. And that's all you need. You just like dude with a fish, and then it was every other dude.
Or dude who's playing golf.
Yeah.
That's
Or took a photo shoot in the same outfit. So they have like the same polo or like or we also did double shirtless pics. Like you have two like so
yeah, you need to show off your topless body twice, you know. I mean, guys are simple creatures. I get it.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that I was banned for Tinder though, because I just got a Photoshop picture of me holding a fish while rappelling off a side of a building that I thought would have been and I wanted to use it for a dating app, and I did not get the opportunity. I know I retired before that, but I'm definitely thinking about dipping my toes back in. And the reason why I mentioned this in the first place is there's a new dating app that's called Score. And it's not as sleazy as it sounds, actually. It's just a reference to landing a date, but also you must have at least a 675 credit score to use it.
What?
Yes. It's a dating app only for people with good or excellent credit. And the hope is to raise awareness about the importance of finances in relationships, meaning you should have money before you date, dummy.
I mean, hey, like I've been working really hard to pay off my debt, and I was somebody that could never get above 520. My credit was terrible. I am like, you know, just like Beef, I'm like third generation white trash. I'm like, there's no way I have inherited this bad number. Now I got it up to 700. So now I'm like, hey, I could go on this, because before I'd be like, man,
you already have enough. If you have a score of, you know, lovers, then you're already getting the top 1%. So, you know, chill for the rest of us. I'm still building that up too.
670. How high does it have to be?
675.
675.
Yeah. So it's a poor credit score. I mean, do you ever like judge a guy based off his credit score, Amie? That's a normal thing.
I'm lucky if they have a car. So
I feel like you need to up your standards there a little bit.
Yeah.
We got so much more that we're going to cover, including things that you should say to a toxic friend. We got some viral videos that I want to share with you on the podcast broadcast stream, and we're going to keep the conversation moving there. So you can join us, youtube.com/Beef Vegan, or keep it here because I got music on the way from Linkin Park and the Chili Peppers on Rock 102.1. Maybe not the Chili Peppers, to be honest with you. I'm going to put in that Linkin Park for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, so that's a new dating app. I doubt, you know, there's going to be a large variety of people on there.
Well, at least in Tucson. I mean,
yeah, dude, in Tucson.
Dude, you call it the pond of Tucson.
Wait, the pond?
Yeah, the dating pond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a small town, so you end up, and then, you know, honestly, when I dip my toes back in, I recognize the same people that I saw for years, and it's.
I mean, you're lucky if you're not
great.
related to some degree.
Oh, luckily I moved here from Phoenix, so I wasn't grown up here. It would have been forget about it. Yeah. I mean, we have listeners and streamers that grew up here for sure, and yeah, they can't date around town because they've literally dated every circle they can.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the first, like, that's one of the go-to, like, if you're from Tucson, like, first date questions is what high school did you go to?
Yeah.
And then you can just deduce the circle and you're like, oh, yeah, I know so-and-so and so-and-so.
I banged your friend. I banged your cousin, you know.
Your mom.
Your mom, yeah. Mom's always in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good for mom. Let's see. Crawling. Hold on. You want to hear crawling?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. And there it is. Boom. And should I play Jelly Roll? Hell no. Stop playing the country, dude. You know, in fact, actually, Beyonce has a country song right now, right? So she's I know.
Serious?
And here's the thing. The rule about Beyonce is you don't talk smack about Beyonce online or they will come after you. Full-fledged. Okay. Now, with this, there is a program director in Oklahoma that's learning this the hard way. And there's a full-blown attack on him. That's actually getting national press, but it's also an industry buzz thing. So she released this song, and look, I have all due respect for Beyonce, right? But let's understand that it is the machine that creates, and she is the vessel that performs it. Okay, so like as far as being an artist, and you know her just feeling like in her soul that she should, you know, create this country music. No. That's not going to be the argument in any case. And I don't care who you are. You can't convince me of that. She got 10 fucking writers. They're like, hey, what do we want to cash in next and take over next? It's a power play and kind of throw it out there. So, you know, obviously country has a long history, you know, of being influenced by Black musicians. So she absolutely has the right to be there. But at the same time, it's not her artistic soul spilling this out.
Right.
This is 100% a business move.
It was a
Country
money grab.
radio is money,
Yeah.
right? It's just how it is. So there was a program director that got a request for the new country song. And the program director emailed the person back and was like, yeah, I'm sorry. We're a country station. We don't play Beyonce. Well, this made the internet furious, right? And then people started bombarding this program director. It doesn't even stop at just Twitter, okay? Because online on the Instagram page, there's a page that I follow that is responsible for me having my own show called Shitty Radio Jock.
Mm-hmm.
Shitty Radio Jock, I know, is fantastic. But basically, a Shitty Radio Jock is an insider in radio. Nobody knows who Shitty Radio Jock is.
Oh.
All right. But they know a lot about the radio industry. So when Shitty Radio Jock came across a video clip of me being verbally abused by my former boss, that went viral, and he shared it, and he attacked, and he or she went after corporate, and they made it such a big stink that they had no other choice than to give me my own show. Because I was a victim of workplace abuse, and I would not have this show if it wasn't for Shitty Radio Jock. So I applaud Shitty Radio Jock. But at the same time, I saw a post today where I'm like, ooh, you don't ever want to cross Shitty Radio Jock. And here is the example. And I'll show you some Twitter comments, but it's not even half as gnarly as what Shitty Radio Jock did when he was communicating. He or she was communicating with this program director in Oklahoma. Okay. So they did screenshots of this, and with that, they filled out, Shitty Radio Jock filled out an online email request and went with the name Anal Prober, right? As a joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was spelled differently. It was, what is it? Say A and then dot and then NEL Prober, right? So,
Right.
but the joke was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the program director emailed back and was like, in your email to that station in Oklahoma, you said your name was Anal Prober, right? As an anal prober, and like, yep, and then and then so then the person messaged and said, Anal Prober, maybe your parents raised you right. All right, hold on. And I think this is to the program director. It could be to somebody else, but it's still savage. So the person messages, Anal Prober, maybe if your parents raised you right, you wouldn't be such a corny douche, right? That's what they said to Shitty Radio Jock. Shitty Radio Jock responded with, maybe, but maybe if you raised, and then they blurted out, but named their daughter's name. Maybe if you raised your daughter right, she wouldn't be pregnant at 15.
Oh dear.
Hardcore, right? It doesn't stop there.
Savage.
And this is another thing where I'm like, I was so fortunate that they were on my side, but if Shitty Radio Jock comes after to cancel me, it was good knowing you guys.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm done. And I'm like, honestly, like I aspire to make whoever's running this account proud. Like, you know, yes, I feel like I'm one of the good guys in this industry. I'm fighting a good fight, and
Right.
I will not be one of these monsters that you're outing because you are destroying people.
Well, there's no way that they're still not watching though. They have to be still monitoring, watching. They're
listening and just paying attention to the industry as a whole.
listening.
I don't know. I mean, Tucson's market 62. So I mean, at a certain point, I don't know if Shitty Radio Jock gives a fuck about us, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know, and doesn't react to my posts as much as I would like them to.
But they do react a little bit.
No, they actually have not. And I do a lot of posts, and I've been doing really good on my social media. So I'm just like, Shitty Radio Jock's like the dad's approval that I never got. You know, like, thank you. Anyways.
So you're saying that like if you're listening right now or following your Instagram to go tag Shitty.
No, please don't.
No.
No. Again, because well, I got to bring up this next point, and I mean, this is something that they post in the stories. So after he said, or he or she said, maybe if you raise your daughter right, she wouldn't be pregnant at 15. The program director responded back, "Fuck you! Don't ever mention my daughter, you fucking douchebag." And then Shitty Radio Jock replied with, "See, that wasn't me being a douchebag. That was me." Stories. I should have screenshot it. All right. See, that wasn't me being a douchebag. That was me being a dick. There's a difference. What should we discuss next? Your wife blanks second DUI she got in December? Fuck around and find out. And like,
now, granted, the wife getting you DUI, like that's public record. Like they could just do a quick search, but finding out about the daughter. Now, I mean,
15?
unless
That's a
this radio
minor.
jock is like talking about it. No.
This program director on the country. Listen.
Yeah.
Let's recap so you're fully on board here. This program director on a country station in the Bible Belt is not talking about his 15-year-old daughter being pregnant or his wife getting a DUI. Right? The fact that the shitty radio jock knew all this came back at this person again was savage, and then
Holy
just
shit.
yeah. So when you just don't want to cross, right?
Right.
But anyways, the whole point of this was the beehive and people upset that initially, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with the response saying, "Hey, we're a country station. We don't play Beyonce. But thank you." Right?
Yeah.
But they're like, no, this song's called Texas Hold'em. It's a country song. Now, country radio stations, in fear of retaliation, like what's happening to this Oklahoma PD, are all adding that record like nonstop. So this time next week, I guarantee you, Beyonce is going to have the number one country song in the country.
Are they still playing it on the pop channels then too? Are they playing it like everywhere?
They will eventually, but that's the thing. It's like, but again, I'm still team. I'm not team PD, but at the same time, my argument is again, if it was like an artistic move, like, hey, this is where I feel like I need to go artistically, but it's not.
It's such a cash grab.
It's such a business thing, and it's like, look, man, you can still be a fan of this woman. She's beautiful. She's talented. She executes a performance well.
Yeah.
It's a little pandering. Right?
It's 100%, dude. And it's like at some point, if you're gonna have, I mean, I guess you don't need to be guarding the gate of country radio. I mean, we play country on KFMA now with Jelly Roll and Hardy. Hardy's new song, Rockstar, I had high hopes. I was like, oh, cool, this will be a rock song. It's called Rockstar. It's more country than his other shit. And I'm like, why are we playing this, dude? So I would be in a position where like, sorry, bro, we don't play country. This is a rock station.
Well, and just to like, as I've gotten to know more about this industry in the last year, how much power country radio DJs actually have is insane. Like they get treated like royalty at like concerts and backstage passes and like all these things because the artists have to cater to radio DJ because like it's still that powerful in that genre. And you don't see it as much in pop and rock, but in country it is still everything.
Yeah. And it's
but you
like
do see it
regional, like it's so popular within the region that it like caters to. It's so popular there.
Yeah. Well, but there is like we were talking about Daughtry earlier today, whose Artificial was number one on rock radio. There are artists that still play the game, and that's why Daughtry came into studio and performed for us. Because that's what you got to do to get in the good side of programmers to add your song into rotation to make it go number one. So,
right. We also had Aaron Jones and Danny Warsnop from Asking Alexandria. Like they still know, like you have to play rotations.
Danny Warsnop came in, his song went number one, right?
And same with Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
did
his song go number one?
Yeah, the Smoke on the Water.
Oh.
Is that what it's called? No, Blood in the Water. That one, that was basically right in a row. It was like Aaron Jones, then Asking Alexandria, and now Chris Daughtry.
Yeah, I know. That's
so
good.
That's it. They just need to keep coming into our show.
Well,
there's a pattern.
They come to all the different radio stations. They're like, hey, give us a rub. We'll give you a rub back.
Exactly.
It's a rub and tug. So that's the industry. You know? Yeah. I mean, you're in improv. So I mean, how many rub and tugs you got to do just to get some stage time?
So many.
Yes.
I've been at Tucson Improv for a decade technically. So it's a lot of rub and tugs.
A lot of rub and tugs. Yes. And so you got the rules on improv is the yes ands. And what are some other fun? You have any improv games and exercises that you play?
So many.
You know what? Well, how about we do that while we're on the air? Let's do an improv game.
Okay. So
hold on. I'm gonna get on the air in about 7 seconds. I'll reset it, and then you just give us a fun one as you ease one in.
Okay. Well, I don't know if
Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was Nirvana. Welcome back to the show. We have Amie Gabuzi, who's a hilarious comedian, improv comic as well. Tonight, she's actually going to be doing 2 Valentine's Day inspired improv shows at Tucson Improv.
Tucson Improv Movement.
Yeah, Tim. And of course, then she's going to be also doing stand up for the Lady Bits comedy show, which is again at Screening Room on what day?
February 17th at 8.
This weekend, yeah. So busy week for you.
Busy week.
Now, Amy's been doing improv for a long time. And what radio is really, our morning shows really are, is like improv. So I think this is a good way to get us all trained up. Now, I improv all morning long when I was conversating with God. You know, if you recall, that was good. Yeah. And that was me just touching base, not asking for a favor like Jelly Roll. You know, he only reached out to God when he needs a favor. I reach out just to check in and make sure God's doing all right. And I feel like, God needs to talk to somebody, because if you look at the world and the state that we're in, God might be having a difficult time. Ask, I don't know, like the Middle East. They might think that God's having a bad run of things. And I'm just checking in on God, being like, hey, you want to talk about anything, God?
Are you okay?
I don't need anything in return. Just letting you know I care. So that's improv. With that said, Amie,
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. That was I pulled that out of my ass. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So now, doing improv at Tim and being an improv performer, I know there's all these different exercises that you guys do to kind of hone your craft. So what's one of these improv games that maybe we could play on the air that could help Weirdo get caught up to my improv skills?
Okay. I see. I don't know if this will translate well because of the radio and sound, but my favorite improv game is Same Word.
Same word. Okay.
It's same word. So we make eye contact. We go in a circle. And then we go 3, 2, 1, and we both say a word. And then
we've done this.
And then
we have done that, but
around.
Rico always F's it up, dude. Yeah. So, but no, okay.
You're trying to get to the middle of the two words.
Yeah.
So let's say, like, you say the word green, and I say, I don't know.
Let's try.
grass.
Let's see if Weirdo's been wanting to do this successfully. So how about you and Weirdo attempt to do this, and we'll see how many
how many
how many
rounds
tries
rounds?
to get the same word.
So the goal is to also don't get in your head about going off on a tangent. It's just always trying to get to the middle of those two words.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So,
all right. 1, 2, 3.
Glasses.
White. Sorry, I was.
Okay. All right. White glasses. Get in the middle.
Yeah. Can we go backwards? So it's 3, 2, 1, and then.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Got it.
No. It messed me. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All
Okay.
right. 3.
So
2.
so glasses and white. Okay.
All right. 3,
2, 1.
Wine.
Plastic.
All right. Wine and plastic. 3, 2, 1.
Bottle.
Bag.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Cap.
Recycle.
Oh,
What did you say?
I said cap, like a bottle cap.
Okay.
A bottle cap and recycle.
Are you trying to meet in the middle?
That's what I was trying.
Okay. And you said recycle?
Yeah, I said recycle and cap.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Bin.
It's weather was my word. Sorry.
Okay.
No, yeah.
3,
Okay,
2, 1.
Storm.
Blue.
3, 2, 1.
Lightning.
Cloud.
3, 2, 1.
Rain.
Thunder.
3, 2, 1.
What?
Flash.
3, 2, 1.
Bang.
Yeah, flashbang.
I was gonna say loud.
Okay. All right. Well, we're not doing
Okay.
this anymore.
Okay.
Because
Yeah. This is Sorry, I don't know if
It's
improv
fun,
games are
though.
the best radio, but
no, I know it is
To
fun
me,
once you get
to
there.
me, it is definitely interesting because, again, it is that exercise because that's where I get caught up all the time. Is I get in my head too much.
Yeah.
I start to overthink it, things like that. It's really funny that when I go to voice track, I do all those in one shot, no problem, and then I'm out of here. But when it's live and stuff, it does mess with your head.
I know. I get messages from listeners all the time that say, "I could tell she's totally just phoning this in." So
Don't phone it in.
Yeah, and so the whole thing is to not think, right? And so it's really funny because you're the one counting down, and so to have someone else counting down, I think definitely creates panic because if I'm counting down, I'm I can control the speed a little bit.
all right, we'll try it again.
No. I think
Oh,
it's
she's
great.
like, I'm done.
Oh well, no, I'm down.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's try it one more time and
Okay.
see if we can get it within 5 tries.
Okay.
And you do the countdown, Amy.
Okay. So wait, are you guys doing it or I'm doing it?
No, you're doing it with a Weirdo.
Okay.
Because
And completely wiped slate, brand new.
Yeah, brand, absolutely brand new.
It's a bucket list for her to accomplish
Yes.
this. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Bicycle.
What was a bicycle and
sticker?
okay, bicycle and sticker. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Lights.
Tire.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Car.
Electric.
Okay. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Tesla.
That's right. Yes! I knew
Finally!
it. There you go. Congratulations. She just bucket listed it. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We got more, including what you should tell your toxic friend, different phrases that you could say to a toxic person. And that's coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents, so don't go away.
You have no
Excellent.
idea
I
how
knew-
excited I am.
We all knew Tesla was coming.
Right,
It's
'cause
very good.
We tried this with Rico, and Rico was just being an ass.
No, well, you know what
It-
the problem was, like the one part that we didn't mention is how we're trying to find the middle ground.
Mm,
Yeah.
Now Rico is trying to go for comedy mind,
right.
and tries
the
to be
no sell.
obscure as
Yeah.
possible. Yeah. So
But it's just such a dopamine hit when it's right there.
yeah.
It is the biggest win off.
All right. Well, I'm gonna share with you a video of a headbanging horse. Right after we play a clip from earlier this morning. Not everybody, of course, is celebrating Valentine's Day with a partner. So what can you do if you're celebrating Valentine's by yourself? Well, don't masturbate in a library.
No.
In on you, buddy. When you get this message, please give me a call back. All right, thank you. Sorry, I was just leaving a message for God. Just again, don't need anything. Just checking in, just touching base.
Right.
Yeah,
You're such a good guy.
yeah. I'm trying, man, for
Yeah.
humanity. All right, it is now 6:51. Let's get weird with Weirdo. What'd you find for Valentine's?
Oh, sometimes for Valentine's Day, there's a lot of people out there that, they're like, you know what? This year I ain't got nobody and I'm going to treat myself right.
You know what? I'm in that camp. So yeah, treat yourself for
Uh-huh.
sure. Give me some good examples of how to treat yourself on Valentine's.
Well, you gotta, you have a little night in.
Okay.
You're like, you know what? I know where I like to be touched.
Yeah.
I can take care of this.
My peen.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I got my favorite horn that I could pull up and just, have a good time. Just don't do it in public.
Oh.
Please keep it private.
Oh, so there's guys that are trying to get a little added excitement
Mhm.
by self-loving in a public area. That's not good. Where was it? Like a park or something?
In a library.
Oh, is this a specific person? Tell me more.
So there's a 25-year-old man in Tennessee named Mark, and he was in the Vanderbilt University Divinity Library.
Wow.
Yeah, so somebody called the cops being like, hey, there's this dude watching some porno. Like, he's got to go.
Yeah.
So by the time cops showed up, he had his pants down around his ankles.
Oh, no.
Hands in his boxers.
Wow.
Going to town.
Why do you have to? So many questions. I'm like, why do you have to have your pants down by your ankles, dude? If you still keep your boxers on, it's so like
Right, exactly.
just unbuckle.
Right, but unfortunately, this also led to the officers having a real difficult time arresting him
Why?
because, he had an unidentified substance on his hand.
Oh no!
It was lube, so they couldn't cuff him because he just kept slipping away.
No, really?
Uh-huh. Well, in addition to that, they found do you remember those M&M's like tube candies?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that on him, and they're like, "Oh, look, he was giving himself a little treat." Yeah, with a crack pipe and tobacco inside.
Oh well,
Yeah, and he was really treating himself.
yeah. Now it all makes sense because you're like, what in the world? What was he thinking? Like, oh, he was on crack.
Mhm.
Decided to self-love in a library with lube.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's something that a crackhead would do. I would never self-love in the librray, but that's
No.
because I'm a loud self-lover. Like there's like my neighbors sometimes tell me to keep it down and be like, hey, you're getting too wild with your guests. And like, there's no guests. That's me. I do both moans. I go high and low.
Well, he was charged with public indecency, resisting arrest, and trespassing. And his excuse? I was horny. That was it.
Yeah.
Just kept it simple.
That's his alibi.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let that be a lesson to all you single bros out there. Do not self-love in the library
No.
or in public in general.
Yeah,
There are better ways
yeah.
to treat yourself on this
Mhm.
Valentine's Day. We're going to hit the reset, be back with your app, my life right after this. Is Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right. So that's an actual factual story. It happened in a library in
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, not a good place.
That's
to
not a
masturbate.
10 I see.
Yeah. All right, let me show you a headbanging horse. This horse loves metal.
Okay, I
and-
saw the headline for this. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you should be. So here, and I'm going to show you both an example of how this is not just the horse feeling music in general and riding the beat. No. This is a headbanging horse that just loves metal, and they prove it with this. So check this out. Let's see. You see it on the screen?
Not yet.
Okay, hold on. I should have geared it up here. All right. Boop. Nope, wrong one.
I want to shoot your face.
I got you. All right.
There we go.
So here's the headbanging horse, and this horse is going to rock out to Shinedown.
That's Whoa.
What's the name of this song again? Okay,
Oh
awesome.
God dang it.
Yeah.
I know the lyrics.
It's Sound of Madness, bro.
Is it Sound Madness? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play
I'm
it.
terrible with names of songs.
Yeah, obviously. All right, so that was, of course, the horse rocking out to Sound of Madness, and rightfully so.
Mhm.
So, what if they played country? Would it sound good, or would it headbang? Oh, you're about to find out right here. Check this out. This Morgan Wallen is gonna be.
So this is the same horse.
Same horse.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then there you go. It puts in the metal.
He's coming up. He's all interested.
There it is. Fantastic.
There you go. Former metalhead reincarnated as a horse. That's the headline.
Well, first of all, if you're gonna play country, right? Like I'm not the biggest country fan, but don't go with that Wallen guy. He sucks.
What about
There
Beyonce?
is better. Well, I haven't heard this Beyonce country song yet.
You're not going to.
No, not on this
we'll get
station.
flagged. No, we get flagged on the YouTube.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah. That's the only reason why, Beehive. Not because I wouldn't want to play it, just because I would. I'm muted. They would boot me off of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Besmirching such a thing. All right. Horses have small brains, but they actually utilize more of their brain than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Our brains are very weird, and our brains are actually hardwired for rest. So skipping exercise doesn't mean you're lazy. On the Today Show, they touched on a recent study that shows that our ancestors needed to move a lot for hunting and gathering.
Mm-hmm.
But when they had downtime, they just rested. All right. So while times have changed and we have like quick access to food and we don't need to hunt, our brains, as it turns out, are still hardwired to rest. So that's why we have like couch potato mode.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us more so than others.
Well, and this probably feeds into, right, like you're talking about, like we would just rest because there really wasn't anything to do. And now we're so bloody overstimulated. Like you can't just sit down on the couch and just stare at a wall. Like you have your phone in your hand, you have a book, you have the TV on, anything like that. Like
so much stimuli.
So much.
Yeah. I mean, I can. I look at walls all day long.
It's honestly my favorite thing to do is to sit in my car. Like I'll just go in my car and I just sit. I don't have my phone on. I don't have the radio on. I'm not driving. I'm just taking a minute just to be like, nothing.
I want all the stimuli. I'll have the TV and the phone and like a radio somehow. Like I just all of it at once.
Nice.
Your Walkman from 1998.
Yeah, it's plugged in and charging. Absolutely.
Real quick on the stream, did you guys hear the F My Life this morning and the phone call that we got from that? Were you listening to the show on the way in?
No, I was.
Oh, that's good.
I was panicking and late. So.
Why were you panicking? You're panicking because you were actually 20 minutes early, which is on time.
Because people were dodging on Miracle Mile. Like they were just running across the street to nothing. There were just like humans dodging traffic.
Yeah,
it was like Frogger.
It's crackhead Frogger.
Yeah.
It really is.
On Miracle Mile. That's exactly what it
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, you always got to watch out for them crackheads just popping out all over the place.
And they have like blankets, so they kind of look like ghosts. Like because they're just like sweeping
It's
the
the Ghost
road.
and Pac-Man.
Crackman.
Crackman.
Yeah,
There we go.
Crackman game. Yeah, same thing. And they're still looking for power pellets. Same difference.
Yeah.
Trying to become ghosts.
I was just gonna take them with me. I'm like, if somebody ran into my car or I ran into them, I'm like, you have to come with me now and just join the show also because I'm not gonna be late.
You're right.
All right, we got 2 minutes before we get on the air. So I want to get into this. It is kind of like educational, but do you have any toxic friends? You have any friends? Like, isn't that a weird thing to say? Be like, well, if they're toxic, why are they my friend? It could be work relationships or whatever the case. But like I know that my mom has literally been broken up with by her friends because she's too negative of a person, right?
Oh.
So like whenever that she would talk to her like girlfriends, all she would do is bitch. And just be like, no, this sucks, blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, I can't do it anymore.
Right. I've had those friends where I'm like, the only time you call me is to complain. I'm not
Right.
answering. Like,
Yeah.
Go hug a tree, go take a walk, take an edible, like get happy.
Well, I'm a comedian, and so most stand-up comedians have some toxicity in them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
myself included, of course.
Oh, yeah. All of them.
Yeah,
All of them.
all of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, you got to have that trauma and insight, you know. Yeah, I mean, I've interviewed so many comedians over the years from all different levels, right? So from ground floor up, and they all have the same, you know, thing in common.
I mean, the
They're
only
all
difference is like
fucked.
we don't call our friends to go do it. We just do it on a stage,
Mhm.
also in front of our friends.
Mhm.
Right.
So I mean,
That is true. How long have you been doing stand up?
I got into stand up right before improv, so probably 11, 12 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice. And so, how often are you writing?
I write a lot.
That's
So
good.
I run the open mic at the Nugget with my friend Drake Belt, shout out. And we do it on Sundays. And so I try to do at least a new joke every week. That is
That's
kind of my
good.
goal.
Yeah.
But like they don't always stay for shows, only the good ones stay. But as long as you're doing something.
As long as you're
Mhm.
doing it and you have the open mics, that's what I enjoy about like Kill Tony, you know,
I love
because
Kill
you're doing a free, you know, you're doing a minute,
yeah.
and that's a very feasible goal.
Yeah.
To do, and yeah, you're gonna bomb on some minutes, but it's only a minute, and you
Totally.
can get gems from there and build from that. So
Yeah. And then luckily like the comedians like write with each other too. And like
we're gonna get back on Rock 102.1 KFMA, hanging out with comedian Amie Gabuzi. What were you saying?
Oh, so I was talking about how like when like stand-ups do open mic, it's really beautiful collaboration where even if like you have a joke that maybe like you can tell it's going somewhere and you just can't get there because you're around all your peers, like they'll give you tags and sometimes you can create
Mhm.
like the bigger joke with like some of those pieces that like,
Abs-
you were getting to.
Absolutely, and those collaborations, and you know, and that's what's really important about a community and a comedy scene. You know, and it's good that you guys have. There's a core comedy scene here in Tucson,
Yeah.
which could always, excuse me, always be stronger and continue to
Yeah.
be stronger and build it up. Part of it's the size of our city and how many people are doing it, but
Totally.
you know, Arizona is building up the comedy and getting a lot of great comedians coming from Arizona. Part of it is the stages and having access to stages. Now you're going to be performing at the Screening Room with
Yeah.
Lady Bits. That's going to be
Yeah.
on the 17th. That's going to be a hilarious show. All female comedians from front to back. And then also you do the open mic.
I
So
do the open mic. Yeah. It's 6 at the Nugget. And then I run my own all-female show once a month at Tim. That's Fem Drop. And that's this Friday too. So it's whole female packed weekend. It's gonna be amazing.
dang. Yeah. So yeah, all weekend long, huh? And
yeah.
Is it celebration in Galentine's? What's the reason for it?
Yeah. Well, they just happen. Well, so Jen puts on this obviously like house show, and she only does it like once a season.
Yeah.
And so Femdrop, luckily, like it's a smaller show. Tim is a smaller venue, and so we get to have, because Tim does like a stand-up 101, so I get to have like some OGs and I get to have some like new baby comics come do it. But then Jen hits the powerhouse like, you know, once a season, and so they just happen to fall on this like weekend. So we'll pretend it's for Valentine's Day, but really it's just gonna be
it just happened.
Do you go out for a date night or a potential date night or whatever the case? Now I want to give you the top 5 or TMI top 5 today is the top 5 phrases to use with a toxic friend. And since Amie Gabuzi is a stand-up comedian with a bunch of stand-up comedian friends, she knows what it's like to have toxic friends, right? Present company included. But you know, if you are clearing toxicity out of your life this year, a little work needs to be done. And besides figuring out who is toxic, you need to know how to shut down a friend who's being toxic.
Okay.
All right. So these are the top 5 phrases that you could casually use in a conversation with a toxic friend to shut them down. First and foremost, say, I'm sorry you're having a hard time. And it's important to me to feel like you're also interested in my life. It's okay to be,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
that's not even selfish at a point. It's like, look, I can't just sit here and just listen to your woe is me stories. We are all
Right.
human. We all have issues. We all
Isn't
have
that like the late Toby Keith? Isn't that like I want to talk about me? I want to talk about like the.
I think
Let
it's
it-
too soon to talk about Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
apologize,
choked up
apologize.
here. Okay, I'm over it.
Okay.
All right. The next thing, number 2, top 5 phrases to use with a toxic friend. I'm not able to give you the kind of support you need.
Ooh.
I have used that many of times.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, you know, release or therapists speak, so
Yeah.
that's good. Number 3, your TMI top 5 phrases used with a toxic friend. I'm not available. All right. Just let them know straight up. You know.
I got to be honest. I use that with even not the toxic friends.
That's true.
Like I'm not available. I just don't answer.
Yeah. All right. Number 4 is I don't feel like there's enough mutual. I can't even say that right now. It's such an easy word too. My brain just fries. How about 4? I'd like to talk about our friendship. Are you open to that? Something you can say?
Okay.
And number 5, or the number 1 thing that you should use as a phrase with a toxic friend is no.
Mhm.
Yeah, no is a full sentence.
Exactly.
No, it was a very full sentence. And
It's-
something else, like, too, like when I've had that friend do that, one of the key things I'm like, do you want me to just listen to you? Do you want support or do you want advice?
Yeah, the
Like,
clarifying questions.
let's get the clarifying questions of like, how much should I be paying attention?
Right. Like, what do you need right now? So I can just do it. And then
We can move on. That's right. He's an asshole. You're fine. Let's go.
I just hit the dump. All right. Well, with that, we're going to do our beef tip right after these words. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. You got
I
comfortable.
forgot a-hole.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Even saying a-hole is treading the water, walking a fine line there.
He's a D-bag.
I mean, I've been hitting the again.
Oh my God, that thing earlier.
Yeah, hitting the dump button nonstop today, like Morse code. This was the phone call that we got earlier for F My Life, and we had 2 phone calls. Is it okay if I play this?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, so F My Life is when people share unfortunate situations and they weigh in and whether their life is after they're being a big baby. Peter gave us a call. And I had to, we had a debate on whether his life was effed or he was in the wrong in this situation. And then we had a call afterwards, very passionate call, basically saying, fuck Peter. So here's what happened. All right.
So 1, should I go?
Oh, wait, I didn't have it queued up. All right, hold on. It's right. I need a crazed tea. And there's a follow-up too, but
So I had a girlfriend, and she was looking through my stuff and found some pictures, and it was from my old girlfriend. So she's like, "Oh, you gotta take those back to her." So I took them to work because I worked with a girl, and I left them on the table by her lunchbox. Well, the coworker saw pictures and said, "Oh, pictures," and opened them up, and of course they were her all naked, and I ended up losing my job.
Oh no!
No.
No, you
Pause it
had
real quick.
yeah.
So that's the part that I heard. I was like, okay, found the pictures of the ex-girlfriend, take them to her because he worked with the girl. He put it next to her stuff and somebody went through it without permission.
So,
So that's where I was coming from.
all right, but you don't have to be defensive. You don't have to defend yourself. You're fine. What were you thinking in that scenario?
Well, I just so I didn't, whether or not they're naked pictures, but especially because, you're just putting it by her lunchbox. Like, it's not in a locker. It's not like a secure place. Like,
Yeah.
you're putting a nude in an open area.
In a folder, but still.
Yeah, they were in a box in a folder with other stuff.
What's in the box? I know.
But is the area communal?
Yes,
That's what it sounds
so
like
he'll
now, yeah.
continue. So
Yeah.
here, and we ask questions for sure.
Okay.
Actual print up photos of your naked ex-girlfriend?
Yeah, I had him in a file. I forgot I had him, and my new girlfriend was going through my stuff and found them and told me to either throw them away or give them back to the girl. So I gave them back to the girl, but I didn't realize other people were gonna be like, "Oh, pictures!"
Right, exactly.
And opened up her little folder and started looking through them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was their bad. There's a lot of wrong in this scenario, Peter, and definitely sucks. But yeah, in that situation, I'm sure hindsight, you're like, I should have just threw those photos away for sure, right?
Right. What?
Yeah. Well, because now I'm on we're live on the air, right? Now I support everyone that listens to the show, and I appreciate that. He's calling in for an F My Life, but I'm like, what you did right there is called revenge porn, and it is not cool. And even though this happened years ago, like, you fucked up. And so, like, in this situation, you basically made yourself get fired because you threw it out there. Now, that little tidbit information kind of went over Weirdo's head, right?
Yeah,
In the
I
moment.
was not understanding what was
Yes.
happening at that point.
So I'm explaining this as we're debating whether or not it's F My Life.
Yeah, I should have just thrown them away or something. But I was young, and I think I was probably trying to get back at her.
See? Right. So that's it. Yeah. That's where you admitted guilt. So I knew it was on something. I was like, wait a second. You don't accidentally do this. You're not doing, you're coming in with the angle that you're being a good guy here. But me personally being a good guy douchebag, like, I know the douchebag part very well. And you were being a fucking douchebag, right? That's how it is.
Look at it now, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, in a way, then is it karma? I mean, now that you've had time to reflect, it's like what you were doing was kind of like, in a way, little spiteful, and you threw it on there, like, yeah, remember these? Because I do, but you were still giving them back, and then it was at work, and yeah,
that's rough.
I mean, it sucks to lose your job for sure, but in that scenario, you 100% put yourself in that scenario. So I want to lean towards Big Baby. What do you say, weirdo?
No, I save my life. He was trying to do the right thing.
No, he was just telling us that he was actually kind of being spiteful, and he duped her.
Right.
The,
the right thing being trying to give the photos back. I went back to the original scenario, what he said.
Yeah, but
I wasn't adding the context after with what you were adding.
I know, but say you're in a situation, right, where your ex is like, hey, remember that naked picture I took of you? Here you go. Are you going to be like, oh, thanks. I missed this. I haven't seen me spread eagle in so long. I mean, kind of throwing those pictures back in his ex's face. So she wasn't appreciative of that for sure.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's a reminder being like, yeah, I did that. I banged you. Remember that? You hate me now, but guess what? We had this. And this is a reminder that we had this. Yeah, and the fact that you're
that's so weird.
Yeah. All right. So then we get an angry phone call. The angry phone call was gold. Right there is an F my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what you did after, Big Baby. I mean, seriously, that's a doozy of a F my life call, Peter. I do appreciate it. I'm gonna.
I look at it later, and I pretty much think that's my fault. But
do you secretly wish? So I got to him. I made him see the error of his ways. But that didn't translate too well to everybody. So we got this angry call. Or for sure,
they are.
Call memory lane. But
So you fired. I will say all
right, here we go.
Yep.
Nice. We'll stay on the line. I'm gonna hook you up. Game tickets and then tickets for the Tucson Rodeo. So you could do like a date night this weekend. All right.
All right. Thank you.
No worries. Caller. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Beef. I call shit on that dude. He wanted revenge porn because he was mad at her. He knows better. Ain't nobody gonna put naked pictures of their ex anywhere.
Hey. All right, so we're back on the air. Rocco 2.1 KFMA. We're replaying a call from earlier this morning, which we will continue for like 2 minutes of overtime on the podcast broadcast stream. Before we end the show, I'd like to thank Amie Gabuzi for coming in. Have fun doing 2 back-to-back improv shows tonight at the Tucson Improv Movement. I'm sure you can go to TucsonImprovMovement.com for ticket information on that. Of course, Lady Bits Comedy Show happening February 17th.
That's our big one. That's our powerhouse. It's amazing. It's the February 17th at 8 p.m. at the screening room. And you can, in my bio, I don't know if it'll be linked, but you can, it's on Eventbrite, and it's going to be a great show.
Awesome. Yes. And how can people get tickets?
So they go to eventbrite.com/ladybits.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's also in my bio on my Instagram. So
and how can people follow you on Instagram?
My handle is Amie Israd, AMIEISRAD.
Nice.
So and it's the first link in my bio to get tickets. Ladybits is gonna be fantastic.
Yes, it will. Fantastic lineup. I hope you guys can go out and treat yourself to a live great night of comedy hosted by the Lady Bits and Jen Blanco, Amie Gabuzi, and everyone else who's on the bill. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the show, but we will keep the conversation moving for a couple minutes on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/Beef Vegan. Robin Ash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon
all right, clear. All right, so just a little bit of this because it gets funny. She gets mad. Okay, curse on the air, dude. You get so angry. And I dumped once, and if anything got out, I apologize. All right, we're hitting the reset. We'll be back with more.
She kept going.
Yeah, she kept going. I actually potted her down. She didn't know that. She kept talking, and it was still recording while she was still talking. So then I hit the reset after she dropped that F-bomb on the air, pretty hard F-bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So
how
as far
much
as
time do you have to like press the oh no, but like bleep that out?
Couple of seconds.
Yeah,
but if the problem is if there's a second cuss word, because we can't redump 90 seconds, 120 seconds.
We can't. It has to reset.
Yeah.
So what happened was she hit the shit. I got that, and then she hit that hard F word, and I didn't get that, and then so that's what that was. But it got people's attention, and so she was passionate. Now Peter was still on the phone, hearing all of this.
Oh.
Yes. And so I tried to have them interact, and that was great too. And it went like this. You can't. Hey, who's this? You can't curse like that. I had you live on the air.
I love it. Well, that guy is lying, and you know I'm right. You know I'm right, and you know I'm right. He's a liar. Nobody keeps in folders like that. Nobody, especially now and not for the last 20 years. Nobody. When is the last time you've been to a Walgreens that had a place that printed their pictures?
That's true, but Peter, was how long ago was this, dude?
All his ex-girlfriend
was
did
like
revenge
20
for it.
years
I
ago.
didn't give her a gift.
It,
Peter.
it was years ago.
It was years ago. By the way, I went to Walgreens yesterday to print out pictures.
Yeah, and they don't let you just like
no,
print
you can't
nudes.
do nudes. Yeah, you got to go through special services.
Shit. Okay.
Years ago, and do you ever think about getting hurt before? Leaving out
I'm
in the
sorry,
open
I
naked
can't hear you.
pictures? Come on, y'all. Get real.
That's-
Y'all played with it. Y'all fed into him and that abuse. That's insane.
That's just a thumbs No,
Oh,
up for
I didn't
Darlene. I didn't feed into
Both of
him.
y'all did.
No way, dude.
I'm
I
good.
absolutely,
I'm good.
I
I'm good. Y'all
absolutely
go ahead
said,
and do it.
I absolutely said that he was in the wrong. He knows that.
You did, but she's like, no, I believe him. Dumbass. You're the one that guys record while they're f***ing you and show all their friends. Dumbass. Or girls, whoever you
Darlene.
Bye.
She was mad.
We don't know No, the I think caller's he's trying name. to stone me.
Oh.
Yeah, but she did call back.
Yeah.
There is a silver lining on this, which is a positive one as well. So as I basically played that back, and I was like, okay, if you're Peter's ex-girlfriend, you want tickets, give me a call, right? And then so we got 2 calls. It started off with this. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Hey, this is Robbie. I'm Peter's ex.
Yeah. Okay. So describe those pictures, Robbie.
Wow, they're pretty wild. Like shaved, looking amazing.
Like
you know.
shaved.
Shaved is not that
I'm
wild.
gonna answer this other line, Robbie. Nice try. All right. So and then here's the follow up from the woman that called earlier. All right. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
The whole thing about her. It's me. If his ex-girlfriend calls, please hook her up, dude.
I will.
That's so cool of you to play that, and that was cool. And Weirdo, I apologize, but I was very angry at you for agreeing with the beta male who was mad at his ex-girlfriend. Okay, I apologize. I own up to my.
Yeah. So and it was even sweeter than that, but I cut it off there for the sake of timing and everything. So yes, it was an interesting 7 o'clock hour.
Yeah, that was at like 7:30. I'm like, what is happening?
I just love the full circle of that. That like you have the kind of audience who are so self-aware that they went off and like they were unhinged, and then they were like, "That was my bad."
Yeah,
right.
That's beautiful.
She's like, I'm really mad at Peter. I didn't mean to take it out on you, and
That's amazing.
and
Right.
and that was the scenario. So yeah, interesting morning, and
Right. And
crazy
also
call.
like we are doing these F My Lives every day. Every day. And so I'm on 3 times a week. So 3 times a week, I'm doing these F My Lives, right? And most of them are just kind of like throwaway. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to give the funnier response or the one you wouldn't expect, thing like that. And I was just applying it the same way because it happened 20 years ago.
I know.
So yeah, so it's
You want to give
definitely
the
a first
audience
for
the
me.
benefit of the doubt. I understand that, but it's
Mhm.
also very dangerous. And this was just a lesson, a
Mhm.
real time lesson that then I've been around way too long where I've learned this lesson the hard way myself.
Right.
By wanting to be nice and friendly to somebody who's listening to the show, you want to support them like they support you. But then, in that situation, I was just like, wait a second, man, this really sounds like a felony.
Right. So
It's like-
in my naivety of, like I said, like taking that first section of where he's like, he worked with the girl, he took it. And even somebody on the comments right now is like, well, the coworker should not have been going through somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
Either.
And
So
also,
A lot of people are wrong in this scenario.
right, exactly. So it was my naivety of just like, oh, I just took that for the face value. And I'm just like, he was trying to give him back to her. Like, I don't understand what he did wrong, but now it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And it sounds like his whole like F my life was that like, oh, I got fired. And
Yeah.
he wasn't even taking into consideration, oh, this other first part of what you did.
Right.
Was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was super bad and seemed like bullshit too. So it was interesting. But yeah, Peter, at least he owned up to it.
Mhm.
I felt like we had a heart to heart. I made him admit his error of his ways, and he's an older gentleman, so I don't think he's doing that anymore. Still, it was interesting.
Yeah, and
we
I
learned.
went through my first experience of getting cussed out by a listener.
Yeah.
But the
That's
fact
not
that the
happened
listener-
before.
It won't be the
listener
last.
Well, I'm probably not.
No.
The listener
Not if you
called
do it
back,
right.
though, to apologize. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was
Like,
good.
I know. So yeah, that was the tea from this morning. So it's been an eventful day and a great show. It's gonna be a fun show tomorrow as well. So thank you guys for watching the stream as always. We're gonna get out of here, but we'll see you this weekend. you know, out and about, whether it's Lady Bits or at the Roadrunners
Roadrunners,
game or just on the streets begging for change. I'm looking at you, Manny.
Oh, Manny's got the